Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome back. I'm home. I'm not doing a field trip in Minnesota. If you've been here on this channel for any amount of time, you know that occasionally we will just do a field trip. Sometimes we don't have Wi-Fi. So welcome to the global community for trauma survivors. This is the place where everybody shows up to hang out every single Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Trauma survivors, practitioners. We provide the very best we possibly can, trauma-informed resources and trauma-informed care to you guys. And we just provide this safe space for everybody to come and hang out and spend time together every single week. And I'm so excited that you have chosen to be here. Over in the chat box, if you're over here, I believe, if you're here live, or it could be like right here on the screen somewhere, or maybe it's like right here on the screen somewhere. If you're holding your phone like this way, it like kind of does the thing. But if you're on a replay, please participate down in the comment section below. And I just always appreciate you guys choosing to spend time here with this community every single week. You guys are the most amazing part of everything that we do. So tonight we're talking about oversharing and loneliness and friendships and how to have healthy friendships and what is too friendly. And basically I get comments and questions like this and messages and emails from so many of you week after week after week, sometimes multiple times a week. And this is one of the topics that comes up most often, this and navigating intimate relationships and sexual relationships, especially because most of the people that are here on this channel, this might be you. You're an adult. You survived a very traumatic childhood. Perhaps you grew up in a family where there was a lot of alcohol or drugs or abuse or domestic violence or just a very traumatizing, not calm, not soothing childhood. You grew up in a environment where your needs were not met. Maybe you were in charge of raising all your brothers and sisters. Maybe mom or dad was incarcerated. Maybe you were exploited or trafficked or sold or traded for goods and services or abused in every which way by either a loved one, a trusted family member, a sibling, a neighbor, a coach, a pastor. If that's you, you're in the right place. If you're a troll, you're in the wrong place because you're going to be blocked and never welcome back. So this is a place where everybody is respectful to one another. We don't say unkind things to one another. This is not the time or the place for that. This is where people come to heal. So zero tolerance policy, you'll be blocked and deleted forever and ever and ever and never welcome back. I suppose you could make yourself a new YouTube profile and then never do it again. And I guess that would be fine, but we would prefer that everybody just be nice to each other. So I can't wait to dive into tonight's topic. And we were having a series on feelings and navigating feelings. And then we shifted into talking about grief and boundaries and safe people. And these are topics that we discuss quite often here on this channel. This channel is a place where everybody comes to learn what a trauma-informed approach is, how to find trauma-informed practitioners, depending on what state you're living in, what to look for, what to ask, what to expect, and how to navigate relationships, whether they be relationships with coworkers or your adult children or even your younger children or with your parents if they are elderly. This is a channel for adults, obviously. So, you know, your parents could be elderly or they could be in their, in their 40s, 50s, 60s. This is a place to come and share support, to receive support, join the conversation, feel heard, feel validated, and just know that you're not alone. Because so much of our lives, if we grew up in a traumatizing childhood, then we didn't learn life skills, and life can feel very lonely and feel very confusing, and we have trouble doing the most basic of things, whether that be personal hygiene or balancing a checkbook or filling out a job application or interviewing for a job or maintaining friendships, maintaining romantic relationships. I myself am divorced multiple times because I didn't understand what a safe relationship was. I kept somehow choosing partners that were exactly like my abusive family of origin. And I somehow have managed to break the cycle. It didn't happen overnight. I've been healing for almost 18 years now, and I'm kind of just here to share what I've learned so that other people can heal faster and so that they know how to find trauma-informed care so that they're not re-traumatized by their practitioners, their therapists, their counselors, their perhaps clergymen or pastoral counseling if they're seeking that out, their social worker. I want people to know that they deserve trauma-informed care if they are a trauma survivor. And that's what this place is about. And I'm so happy you've chosen to be here. So without further ado, I am going to read you a message that came in on an audio. I'm not going to play the audio message for confidentiality purposes. I do have a SpeakPipe messaging app on my website, and a lot of people will leave me voice messages there, or they will record an audio voice message on their phone and they will send it to my email address, info@cptsdfoundation.org. And so what I'm going to do first, I just want to say thanks to everybody who shows up here early. Hello to Kathy Bobathy. Hello to Shannon. Hello to John Harvey. Hello to Poppy. There were a lot of you guys here. Let's see. Hello to Nexus. Hello to Sabra. Hi, Monica. Hello, I Still Found Hope. Let's see. There's some concern about the chat replay being active after the live stream. I'm not going to be turning that off. I'm sorry. I know that that's going to cause some of you guys to not want to come back, but the feedback I have gotten from almost every single person in this community is that they learn the most seeing what questions other people ask during the chat. And so the only way that I can tell you that obviously I would love for everyone to stay. There's usually 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 of you here every single week. And then there are hundreds and hundreds, potentially thousands, that will view the video afterwards. And the consensus is they learn the most by knowing what questions to ask. And the way they know what questions to ask is by reading the questions that you all are asking. So I will not be turning that feature off. I'm so sorry. I do want you guys to stay here if you feel safer going to perhaps create an anonymous YouTube profile, an anonymous Google profile, Gmail profile, and then coming back and just showing up as a different person. Totally fine. If you don't want your name read out loud on the air, then, just put a different name. Just say, please have Athena call me Starfish Mermaid, or Monday Mongoose, or Tulips and Roses, or whatever it is you would like to be called. Very random names, I know, but yeah, I hope that doesn't deter too many of you. I would hate to see you all go, but I know that more people will continue to come. This channel has grown every single week for 4 years. We have never gone 1 week without gaining new subscribers because there are adult survivors of childhood trauma all over the world that need to know that they're not alone. So I'm not turning off the chat feature. I do appreciate you guys asking, and I hope that you understand and respect my decision. Please come back. Get yourself an anonymous avatar and come back. And that would be amazing. Thank you for sending in all of your questions. What I'm going to do is I am going to, are you guys all signed up for the daily calls, daily recovery support calls? What I'm going to do first, I'm going to do a screen share of the question that we're going to be asking tonight. And I'm going to discuss that. And then I want to share with you guys how excited I am about the daily calls. There's like 40 of you here. So for 40 of you, I want to share with you, as soon as I read tonight's question and I answer all your guys' questions, I want to share with you just the disclaimer that we have for the daily recovery support calls coming up. And I'm so excited to share that with you because it's just now finished. And don't forget to go to cptsdfoundation.org and look into what the daily recovery support calls are going to be. And if you want to get welcomed into a free group, please email Lisa at cptsdfoundation.org and get welcomed into a free group, because that would be amazing. We would love to have you. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do the screen share here. Let me see. I forgot to even ask you guys if you could hear me because my audio wasn't working and I had to reboot. I think you can hear me though. Otherwise someone would have told me by now because I'm 15 minutes in. Okay, so here's the screen share for tonight. I will read this out loud. This is about loneliness and friendships and oversharing. And this is a message that I've received from a lot of you, several of you. I've probably received this particular message, I would say, now I'm having a hard time counting, conservatively over 50 times since we started the channel. So I know that this isn't a topic that I've recorded a video on before. So tonight's the night. This is the screen share. Let me know you all can see this. And thanks for any thumbs up you guys give the videos if they end up being helpful for you. And thanks for subscribing to this channel. So here we go. Let me know if you can see that. Oh, you know what? This is the wrong screen share. This is the one I was so excited to show you guys. I'm so excited to show you a different one though. How's that? I'm so excited to show you a different screen share, which is tonight's topic. I apologize. Don't you love live video where everything goes wrong? Perfectionism kicks in and you just want to go hide under the covers. There we go. Please tell me you guys can see this. Let's make this bigger. Hope you guys can see that. Yay. I hope you can see that. Okay. So this is a question, or a version of this question that I get quite often, as I mentioned earlier. So this one in particular came in via the SpeakPipe app on my website, and it says, "Hey, Athena, I wanted to ask a question since I'm really new to all of this. How do I know if someone is safe as far as just sharing a part of my life with them? I have a lot of friends, but almost nobody knows me. And in my mind, I either want to share nothing or I want to share everything. And I pretty much just lean toward nothing. But I am just so lonely and I'm tired of being lonely. I feel trapped and it's a really desperate feeling. I'm just wondering how I know, how I bring it up. I don't understand friendships, to be honest. I've been incredibly hurt by someone that I thought was somebody else. So I guess I just want to know, how do I share my life with anybody without driving them away? Thank you. I love you." Well, first of all, I love you too. And I know you're here tonight. So thank you for being brave and sending that in. And I'm so happy that I get to have the opportunity to share your question with everyone, and so that everyone can benefit from your bravery for asking the question. As always, I want to pose it to you guys. Do you guys have some best practices that have helped you navigate friendships and to know when sharing turns into oversharing, or how to know if a friend is a safe person to share with, or how have you battled the loneliness and the isolation of not having a lot of friends? Or have you guys ever felt like you have a lot of friends, but nobody really knows you? I know I've felt all of these things before, and it can be really lonely. I agree, to get into friendships with people thinking that they're a safe person, assuming that they're a safe person because of the, where you met them or what part of the community they're involved in. Hold on one sec. I'm just going to get a drink of water, you guys. One sec, okay? Okay. So I don't know about all you guys, but I've felt all these things before. And it can be very lonely, and it can be very anxiety inducing as well, to try to know what friendships are safe, what friendships are not safe. When is it okay to share my life with someone, my story with someone? And again, this all boils down to boundaries and safe people. So much of like things in life, right? It all boils down to boundaries and safe people. So that being said, I'm going to grab my handy dandy safe people piece of paper that I shared for several weeks in a row. And I'm going to go down these characteristics just as a basis of knowing whether or not this person in my life is going to be the type of person that is safe. And then over time, I will be able to share my life with them. So these characteristics are characteristics of unsafe people. That's why the page is red. Unsafe characteristics. So these are the people that we won't likely share our lives with. We won't likely share our personal information with these people. We won't likely share our story. And I remember sharing with a lot of you guys a few weeks ago, one of the rules of thumb that that has been very helpful for me is learning and finding freedom in the fact that not everybody deserves to know me. Not everybody deserves to know my story. And I know that sounds perhaps incredibly grandiose of me. Like, who am I? Why am I somebody so special that someone doesn't deserve to know me, type of a thing? Like, and I don't mean it. I think you guys, if you've been here any length of time over the past 4 years, like, you know me and you know my heart, and you know I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, well, you don't deserve to know me. There's no attitude in that. What I mean by that is not everyone, my story, my life, the things that I have gone through, the life that I have endured, the life that I've built for myself, that I am now. I mean, I'm in recovery from childhood trauma, lots of childhood trauma, lots of abuse and exploitation and horrific things that should never happen to any living being at all, not animals, not humans. And those are things that were done to me by my family of origin and by, unfortunately, romantic partners that I willfully got into relationships with. So these are the characteristics I'm going to share right now of people who are unsafe, and I won't be sharing my life with these people, and I probably won't even be developing friendships with these types of people. The people I'm talking about are people that are very religious and dogmatic, rather than being spiritual or respectful of my own faith or my own spiritual views. If they're unrespectful of that, or they insist that I subscribe to their views and it doesn't happen to line up with the views that I necessarily have, then I probably won't be being friends with them. Now, am I saying that I'm only going to be friends with someone if they share the same spiritual life practices, or if they share the same faith, or if we have the same moral compass, or if we go to the same church? Like, are those the only friends? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I am very respectful of everyone's religious and spiritual views. I have friends who are agnostic and atheist, and I have some friends that are Buddhist. I have friends who are they practice Islam. They believe in Allah. They read the Quran. We don't line up, and we don't have the same beliefs. I know that there are a lot of people in this world that believe that any person in the whole world that comes from that type of a background, they're terrorists and they want to kill people. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. I've met these people. I've eaten dinner in their homes. They've cooked for me. They've brought me food when I didn't have any. They're loving, kind people. I have friends who are Jewish. I have friends who are Christians. I have friends who don't really know what they are. And they grew up in a background where they went to Catholic church, but now they believe in Buddha, or they believe in the law of attraction. And there are all kinds of different religious and spiritual views. So someone who is very religious and dogmatic and they are not respectful of my own spiritual beliefs, I'm probably not going to end up hanging out with them or sharing my life with them. People who are extremely defensive and not open to feedback, who need to always, be very like on guard no matter what you say, and it's very stressful to be around them. I don't hang out with those types of people. I just don't. I used to, but I don't anymore. People who are very self-righteous and they think that they always have to be right about everything. It's their way or the highway. They know it all. They're like the answer person. They have the answer to everything. And they're not very humble or willing to seek feedback and advice from others. I just don't really hang out with a lot of those people. Those are not the people I surround myself with. And then people that are extremely offensive or unkind and rude, and they don't ever apologize, or they go, "Oh, sorry," or "Sorry you feel that way." And they're not sincere when they apologize, and they never change their behavior. They always just act however they want to act. And then if you call them out on it, they say, "Oh, sorry." And then they just go on and do their own thing. I don't hang out with those people anymore. And sadly, I'm describing a lot of the people in my family of origin. Like, this is just how I was raised. These are the people I was raised by and that were in my family of origin. And I don't really spend time with any of these people at all. I have like a handful of people, my family of origin, that I spend time with, and none of them act like this. The ones that do act like this, I don't really keep in touch with them. I don't have the emotional bandwidth for it anymore. People who avoid working on their problems, and they always want to like blame the system or blame the man or blame the government or blame their brother, their sister, their cousin, their aunt, their uncle, their mother, their father, the neighbor, the guy, the homeless, the people, the guy, the store. They blame it all, the weather. They blame everything on everybody else, and they never deal with anything. They just shift the blame, and they know they have problems, but they don't work on their problems. They just avoid dealing with their problems. So there are two types of days that these people have: days that they complain about all their problems and days that they complain about other people. And I just don't hang out with those people anymore. I don't hang out with people that avoid working on their problems. I hang out with people that deal with reality and deal with their problems, and they don't blame everybody around them. So I also don't hang out with people and don't spend time or develop friendships with people that demand that I trust them. You need to trust me. You need to trust me. That's like red flag times a billion. No, I'm not hanging out with anybody who says that I have to trust them. No. No. And no, like, sorry, not sorry. Trust is earned over time. Anybody who says you have to trust them and they demand your trust, sorry, not hanging out with them, not developing a friendship with them. People that believe they're perfect instead of admitting their faults, not really in my circle of friends. Don't really like hanging out with those people. Why? Because I don't believe that I'm perfect. I don't believe that anybody's perfect. And I know I have a lot of faults. And if you've known me for any length of time, aside from just knowing me online, but like if you've known me like gotten to know me, you know that I will typically say something along the lines of, I'm probably going to let you down. Like, I will disappoint you. I'm human and I blow it every day. I make mistakes every single day, and I will always own them and always ask sincerely if you will accept my apology. I'm not the type of person that thinks I'm perfect or pretends to be perfect or thinks that I'm never going to make a mistake. I will tell people straight up, I will likely let you down. I will likely disappoint you. I'm human. And if I do, I will humbly ask for your apology, or ask for your, I will humbly apologize and ask for your forgiveness. Sorry, that was funny. And if you choose to forgive me, great. And if you don't accept my apology, I understand, and I will feel terrible likely for a while. But yeah, I'm just not a perfect person at all, and I never will be. So I don't hang out with people or become friends with people or share my story with people who blame others instead of taking responsibility. We touched on that a little bit up here. Now I'm down here. It almost mentions it twice because it's so annoying. I don't hang out with liars, people who are dishonest. Like, it's like the way they are. I'm not talking like you told a white lie like a week ago, or, you know, you were dishonest about something like, you know, when you were 12 or like, you know what I mean? But if you're the type of person that lies about everything just for fun, or, you know, someone asks you what time you got to work, and, you know, every single day you're 10 minutes late, but you tell them that you were on time, like, lying is a part of your lifestyle. Dishonesty is a part of your thing. It's just how you would describe yourself. I'm kind of a dishonest person. Yeah, I don't hang out with people like that. I was raised by people like that. I'm describing my family of origin. I don't hang out with dishonest people. My husband's one of the most honest people I know, to a fault. Like, he will totally admit, like, even if he was like super duper wrong about something, he'll usually admit it. He's just not a dishonest person. You know, if he was 20 minutes late to something, he'll be like, I was 20 minutes late. Like, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been 20 minutes late. I blew it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'll do the best I can to not be 20 minutes late next time, you know? And then lastly, people who are stagnant instead of growing. I'm the type of person who always wants to be growing. I want to be learning. I have been known to say something along the lines of, I never want to be the smartest person in the room. I always want to be learning. I'm usually the most generous person in the room, but I never want to be the smartest person in the room. I love to surround myself with people who are smarter than me. And that includes all of you guys. A lot of you guys are extremely smart, and I love spending time with you, which is why I'm here every single week. But those are the types of people. The person who sent in tonight's question, besides the 50 other of you who have sent it in over time, but the person who sent in tonight's question, we'll just call her D. So D sent in that question, and I just want to just say, D, you're not alone. You're so brave for sending in the question. I'm glad we get to break it apart piece by piece. And I'm glad that we were able to go over all those characteristics of people that you should not create a friendship with, and that you would not share your story with, and you wouldn't share everything or nothing with. You would more like nothing. I want to talk about part of your message that you sent in, and that is that in my mind, I think you said something along the lines of, in my mind, I either want to share everything or nothing. And let me tell you a little bit about why I do not subscribe to that principle any longer. I used to be the type of person for years and years and years where I would just really want to find that person I could share everything with. Otherwise, I would just share nothing with them. And the problem with that mindset for me, and for many of my clients and for many of our community members, is it's black and white thinking. And rarely does healing happen in the black and the white. The healing happens in the scary middle, in the gray. Every single person on this planet is good and bad. Every single person on the planet has pluses and minuses. They have really great characteristics, and they have some pretty big flaws, every person on the planet. And so that means that every person on the planet is trustworthy and not so trustworthy. And where you find a good mix is when over time you notice that their character starts to show you what they're mostly about. If anyone gets to know me on a regular basis, they mostly know that I love to drink coffee. I love to go to Starbucks. I love to learn. I love to read. I love to learn how to code. I love to build things and paint things and draw things. And I love music, and I love singing, and I love playing musical instruments, and I love driving and road tripping, and I love nature, and I love cool mountain climates, but I love ocean views. And I'm also a very honest person most of the time, and rarely am I dishonest. And I'm also the type of person who loves to admit my flaws and to learn and to grow. And I used to be all of these characteristics because this is how I was raised. But now I can stand here, sitting, and I can confidently tell you that I'm respectful of other people's spiritual views and practices. And I'm very open to feedback. In fact, on my corporate employee annual review, one of the most common things said about me over the course of 10 or 15 years was, Athena thrives in an environment of constructive feedback. She accepts constructive criticism well. That was one of the things that was often said about me in my employee review. I didn't used to be that way. I used to be extremely defensive, but I'm very open to feedback now, and I want to learn and grow. It's an opportunity for me to get better at what I do. I tend to be more humble and less self-righteous. I tend to desire to change my behavior if I feel that it's wrong. And I am very sincere when I apologize to people. And I do love to work on my problems and get better at things. And I always deal with my problems. Almost always, not always. Sometimes I like to just avoid them and just binge watch YouTube videos of people playing the ukulele and doing like music tutorials or teaching me how to like do something on my computer and build things and whatever. But for the most part, I like to work on myself. And I'm not the type of person that demands trust. I'm definitely all about earning trust. I do not believe I'm perfect. I do admit my faults. I always take responsibility for my actions, and I'm learning to not take responsibility for the actions of others because I'm a responsibility taker and I was trained to take responsibility for everybody. So I'm learning to not do that and only own my part of stuff. That's like, I'm a work in progress. I'm very much an honest person. I'm rarely dishonest, and I do love to grow personally and professionally. So those are the types of people, Dee, that you would want to develop friendships with. And then the answer to the question about being lonely and when is it oversharing, I would say that sharing a lot of your story, your trauma story with someone, unless you've gotten to know them over quite a long period of time, unless you're in a support group setting like this and like in our groups, I would say that it's not really appropriate to share those types of things unless someone else begins to open up and sort of share things with you and you sort of feel it out. And honestly, the greatest piece of advice of the whole entire night is to trust yourself. And the way we learn to trust ourselves is by remaining congruent and by healing our intuition. And the way we heal our intuition is by learning about ourselves. What do we like? What do we dislike? How can we protect ourselves? How can we make healthy choices? How can we push ourselves outside of our comfort zone in a way that we're still safe? And we learn to believe that we have the ability to create safety in our lives. And we have the ability to acknowledge our own worth and value as a human being. One of the hardest things for me in my own recovery journey that I'm still working on in therapy every single week as I do EMDR is I'm learning that my value and my worth is not predicated upon someone else's opinion. And that is a hard one because all you know when you grow up in an environment that is toxic is that if you act, do, say, or look, or behave, or appear a certain way, you'll get hurt less. And now that we're adults and we're hopefully no longer in that type of a situation where we have to act, appear, look, obey, pretend, appear, certain ways, and we now have the power to create safety in our lives so that we can actually take a deep breath and rest, it's important to note that our worth and our value is something that is never in question. And over time, we create relationships with others where our safety is not in question. That's always the goal. And whenever we're working on any type of our maladaptive coping strategies or our things, our stuff, our baggage, addictions, eating disorders, avoidance, stuffing our feelings, busyness, like all these types of things, right, that we do to avoid and we avoid our feelings, we stuff our feelings, we numb our feelings. When we're numbing, stuffing, and avoiding, we're not healing. And so all of our maladaptive coping strategies that help us to numb stuff and avoid. The way we deal with those in a safe way, in a trauma-informed way, is by looking at them and going, wow, here are all of these coping strategies. I dissociate and I am addicted to social media. I'm on social media for like 6 hours a day, and or I eat my feelings, or I tend to always have, a few glasses of wine every night, or I keep myself so busy that I won't have to think. Those are maladaptive coping strategies that helped us when we were younger to survive, but now they don't serve us because we end up being extremely hypervigilant or unhealthy. Right? So we look at these coping strategies and we don't treat only those. We don't go, well, I need to stop being addicted to this, and I need to stop eating my feelings. I need to stop being on social media. I need to stop that, stop that, stop that. And we don't just treat these symptoms, right? These are the petals on the flower. There's a root to this flower, right? There's a root. There's a root to the flower. These are the petals. And the root is trauma. So the trauma could be childhood sexual abuse, emotional abuse, a dysfunctional relationship, growing up in an alcoholic home, enduring all kinds of adverse childhood experiences. And then that's the trauma that we're trying to heal, but it's very, very painful. And so we have all these other things over here that we do so we don't have to think about the trauma. This is trauma-informed care. This is what the goal is. And then, you know what, Harriet, if you could pop up the YouTube card for healing our intuition through congruence, so that we can, so that everyone can see that and learn about that and how we can heal our intuition so we can trust ourselves. And then also there's a video that we did on adverse childhood experiences. I believe it's titled ACEs, ACES. If you could pop up the YouTube card to that as well, that would be great. And then a website that you could link up below, Harriet, is acestoohigh.com. ACESTOOHIGH.com. And when we think about adverse childhood experiences, right? That's over here, that's the trauma. Adverse childhood experiences. If those happened over a long period of time and we are living with these maladaptive coping strategies over here, we're likely living with some CPTSD symptoms. We have endured some complex trauma, and we're having emotional flashbacks, and we have some dissociation, we have anxiety, we have some PTSD symptoms. We could be having some irritable bowel syndrome. We could have autoimmune disease. We could have all kinds. We could be living with some sort of heart condition. We could be developing a lot more cancerous cells. There are things that can happen to our physical bodies, not just our mental and emotional health, but our physical health, if we don't deal with these things in a trauma-informed way. And so when we are developing friendships with people, back to Dee's question and all of your guys' question, when we have friends and we're not sure if they're safe, right? We're not sure if they're safe, if they're these types of characteristics, if they're unsafe or if they're safe. And then if we try to share too much too soon, too fast, then that's going to scare people away. And the only way to develop a friendship is over time. That's the way healthy friendships are developed, over time. Now, that's not to say that you can't meet someone and go, wow, I feel like I've known you my whole life. This is so cool. Like, I feel like we're kindred spirits. That does help. And I mean, that does happen, and that does help our situation, but it doesn't mean that we should immediately share our whole story. Not everyone needs to hear our whole story, and not everybody deserves to. So I hope that helps. It is very, very, very lonely to share everything or to share nothing. Because if we share everything to someone that isn't our therapist, a medical professional, a licensed healthcare professional, a counselor, a coach, someone who that's their job, and we're sharing everything, that's too much for one person to handle. And you want to know something that's so cool? Don't miss this. Please don't miss this. The way we know that that is too much for someone to handle is it was too much for us to handle. It was too much for us to handle. The reason we know it was too much for us to handle is because we're in our adult years still trying to heal from it. So me, thinking that I can tell one human being that has their whole life and all their own junk going on, I can tell them my whole story and have that be like healthy and okay for them and like something that they can grasp, that's not plausible. That's not a sustainable environment for anyone to thrive in or for a friendship to thrive in. The reason we know it's too much for someone else to handle the whole story all at once is because it was too much for us to handle, even over a long period of time. And so that's a good rule of thumb, unless that person is your therapist or your counselor or a licensed healthcare professional. You know, you need a team, right? You might need a psychiatrist and a psychologist and a therapist and an EMDR practitioner, someone who's a DBT specialist, a coach, you know, maybe someone at church, maybe a support group. This is a team. This is a team in place, right? We all deserve to have a team. What we went through is too much for one person to bear. We need a team of people to help us heal, which means that developing a friendship with one person and having them manage all the stuff that we want to share with them, not a good idea. Not a good idea. I learned that the hard way. I lost so many friends. I thought I was developing good friendships, and then all of a sudden I would just be like, bleh, and I would just like emotionally vomit all over them. And I would be like, oh, is that too much? I didn't. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm so glad you shared all that. And then it's like, you don't hear from them for like a month, and you're like, oh my gosh, I did it again. I scared somebody away. Like, I am just too much. And it's this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It's the, I'm unacceptable. I'm too much. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that I am acceptable and that I'm not too much and that I deserve to heal. But what I do is I repeat the behavior and I emotionally vomit all over someone. And then I'm like, was that too much? And they're like, no, it wasn't too much. And then I don't hear from them. So I'm like, well, I just confirmed I'm too much and I'm not acceptable. And I did that for like 30 years. You know, I mean, we just do this. We repeat the pattern. And a lot of the time, if we're being honest, we'll look at the family of origin or the people who perpetuated the abuse on us, whether it was aunts, uncles, cousins, pastors, clergy, coaches, whoever it was that perpetuated the abuse on us. And we look at like maybe them, and it's like they are kind of the type of person that might not have a lot of friends and they might not have healthy relationships. Rarely do you find someone who is extremely abusive and perpetuates abuse on young children who are now adults trying to like heal. And we're like, oh, they're amazing. They're wonderful. Like they have all these friends, you know. Now I'm not saying that can't happen. I get letters from people that are like, my abuser was my youth pastor and he has like dozens of friends and he has all these people, et cetera, et cetera. But look at this. This is a youth pastor. This is someone who is like pretending to be a spiritual person who wants to help other people. And he's utilizing his position of power to manipulate and exploit children so that he can satisfy his own desires. Not a healthy person. All those quote unquote friends that he has are buying into the lie that he's like a good person. So he's really not a good person because he's an abuser and he's a person that exploits young people. So I'm hoping that this is helpful. I'm hoping that this shows you that you're not alone, Dee, and that I have done all the same things and I have shared everything. And then I've decided to share nothing until I'm extremely lonely. And then I'm feeling completely suicidal. And I'm like, why don't I have any friends? And then there's just a balance. You have to put out feelers. You have to sort of, when you're developing friendships, it's kind of like dating a little bit. You're like testing the waters. You're like, is this the type of friend I want to hang out with? It's never like when you meet a romantic partner, if you move too fast, it's like too much, too soon, too fast. And then it like fizzles out. And it was like, ew, like that's not usually like the way things move at a healthy pace. It's the same thing with friendships, you know, like, oh, you want to meet up for coffee? You want to maybe do this? Oh, let's catch a movie. Maybe you have something similar in common. You like the same bands. You want to go see a concert together, or you like to take the train into the city and go shopping, or someone likes to do road trips and you're like, hey, let's meet up in such and such and we'll road trip it over to such and such. And then you take the train back to your place and I'll take the train, you know, like there are people that have similar interests to you. Like one of our community members that had a hiking group that they joined, right? or there's meetups. There's meetups on the Meetup app, like people who love all the same board games and card games and whatever. People like cooking clubs and what is it, like not stamp collecting. What is that? Scrapbooking, like scrapbooking clubs. And then like I have like a ladies Bible study that I love to go to because I love to read my Bible. I love to study scripture. That's just something that is part of my personality. My faith has gotten me through a lot of my traumatized childhood, and it's been sort of a rock in my life. And I love to pray for other people. I love to share my thoughts and feelings in a spiritual way, but I don't do that with everybody. I don't do that a lot on this channel out of a huge amount of respect I have for our community who has suffered religious abuse, cult abuse, all kinds of abuse that had to do with people using the Bible and scripture against them and like luring them in to like sexually exploit them. That's horrible. But I am a spiritual person, and I do have a ladies Bible study that I love to go to. And my group of girls is like, they're my girls. Like, they're my girls. Those are like some of my closest friends. And then I have an in-person survivor group, you know, for adult survivors of childhood sexual abuse. I went and met up with those ladies every single week. I drove an hour each way every single week, sometimes more than once a week for 5 years, because those are my people. Those are my girls. They all spoke at my wedding. We all still keep in touch. I mean, we've been through cancer together, death together, life together, weddings, funerals, kids, adult kids, the death of pets. We've traveled together. I mean, you name it, we've done it. So, and those things, what I'm trying to get at here is those things take time. They never really just happen overnight. You know what I mean? Again, you can meet someone and you have that instant click and you're like, wow, we're like, you know, we're like the same person. Occasionally, I have a client and we're like twins. We have like the same story, very similar story. We have a lot of the same likes, the same dislikes. We like a lot of the same foods, we have a lot in common. And we're both very passionate about the mental health community and serving our community and working and building, and we're both very entrepreneurial, but that's not everybody. Like, not everybody is going to be that person that's going to be like your twin or like, you know, not a soulmate. What is it? Like a kindred spirit. Not everybody's going to be a kindred spirit, and that's okay. That's what makes those friendships the most special. I have a girlfriend of mine that lives on the other side of the island. She hosts Thanksgiving in her home every single year for a lot of people who don't have families here on this island. I have been attending that Thanksgiving meal every single year, probably since like 2007 or 8, probably 2008, maybe 2009. It's been a long time, like 10 years. So, and she's one of my closest girlfriends, and I just love her. So, today's her wedding anniversary, and I didn't wish her a happy anniversary, and I'm just such a horrible friend. Oh my gosh. But I'm hoping that this has been helpful for you guys, and that you know that the key to not oversharing is by knowing what people are safe. And the key to knowing what people are safe is learning to trust yourself. And the key to trusting yourself is by learning what you're about, what you like, what you dislike, and how to remain congruent with yourself and heal your intuition. And the key to that is to learn what you'll allow in your life and what you won't allow in your life, which that's a healthy boundary. That's boundaries within yourself. That's interpersonal boundaries. What will you allow? What will you not allow? And, Harriet, could you pop up the video on boundaries that we recorded? It's really dated, you guys, but it's a good video. It's like a few years. It's 3 or 4 year old video. So please forgive. Like, I probably talk way too much, and, you know, I hate the sound of my own voice. I think I'm annoying, but maybe you guys won't think that. But I hope that's been helpful. Like, I seriously, seriously hope that this has helped you, Dee, and that this has helped so many other people. I do have the screen share on the disclaimer that I have for our daily recovery support calls that are starting tomorrow. And if you sign up for the daily recovery support calls in the month of May, you get the month of June for free, because we're starting so late in the month of May. And we were supposed to start back in March. I have a gal that I need to get in touch with via email. And she thought we were starting back in March, and so did I. I actually thought we were starting like in January. And it's a lot to put together, you guys. There are a lot of logistical things that need to happen. There's a lot of legal ramifications. If you have certain things going on, especially in the mental health space, you have to make sure you're covered. You got to do things the right way. Again, it takes time, right? Just like friendships. So daily recovery support, if you're interested in that, it's $20 a month. If you sign up in the month of May, you get the month of June for free. It's 365 days a year, 45 to 50-minute calls every single day, every day, 365 days a year. For right now, the calls are going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, but we're going to be adding calls for the UK peeps. We have a huge UK contingency. And then hopefully one of those times will work for our Australian peeps. And I have people in Abu Dhabi, and there's an area in Indonesia. I think it's called Bandung. Oh my goodness, I have no idea. I have someone there. We have somebody in South Africa, in Cape Town. We're doing the best we can to have all the time zones come together and offer enough calls so that everyone can participate every single day of the year. The calls are all recorded, and they're all confidential. I think I'm going to read you the disclaimer. Is everybody okay if I read you the disclaimer? I know I didn't answer questions tonight. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to continue this next week, and I'm going to have to answer all your guys' questions next week. Let me see. Yeah, because there's a lot of questions. I got your question, Nexus. If someone could tag Nexus. Someone tag Nexus and let them know that I'm going to answer their question next week. Someone tag I Still Found Hope. Someone tag Holistic Recovery. Someone please tag Sabra. John Harvey. Am I saying it wrong again? Guayanes. I feel like I might be saying Guayanas wrong. I hope not. Ashton Smith. JD. Heroes Don't Wear Capes. Declan. Rhonda Lindsay. JD. Oh my goodness. You guys, you guys have the greatest questions. All of you. This is going to have to be a two-parter. This is a two-parter. So next week, we're going to have to answer all of these questions because they're amazing questions. But I want to read you. Let me read you really quick. Let me just read you the disclaimer. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. We still have 1 minute left. I want to be respectful of your time, and I'm going to read this to you, okay? I'm so excited. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Here we go. This is our legal disclaimer for the website, you guys. I'm nerding out on this. I know it's crazy. Like, you guys might not be nerding out on this as much as me, but like, hello, this is so exciting. Can you believe this? Like, can you believe this right here? Oh my goodness. So here we are. This is the disclaimer for the website. Here we go. I'm going to read it. The services provided by Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org range from trauma-informed resources and peer support to group coaching, to go-at-your-own-pace courses, to opportunities to participate in global research products, to virtual and live workshops for clinicians and mental health consumers. Our mission has always been to provide trauma survivors and practitioners with the very best trauma-informed resources in support of developing balanced relationships and healthy daily habits. Services will be in groups facilitated by interactive audio with occasional visual means, i.e. Zoom video conferencing. As trauma-informed practitioners and advocates, we will work with you to identify factors which interfere with your daily life and support you in developing skills for healthy trauma recovery. Trauma-informed peer support, group coaching, go-at-your-own-pace courses, virtual and live workshops for clinicians and mental health consumers are not a medical or mental health service. Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org do not provide psychotherapy or mental health counseling. No diagnosis or treatment of or advice regarding any medical or mental health condition or illness will be offered. Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org are not an alternative to medical or other healthcare diagnosis and or treatment. You are advised to seek diagnosis, treatment, and advice regarding medical or mental health conditions or illnesses from physicians, psychologists, and other licensed healthcare and mental health professionals. Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org volunteers and staff may hold graduate degrees or be licensed in healthcare professions. However, the services offered by Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org are not medical, psychiatric, psychological, psychotherapy, or any type of healthcare or mental health care service. Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org reserve the right to refuse services to clients at any time, including but not limited to discontinuing any and all services to any clients who, in the sole opinion of Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org, is or are not benefiting from its services. Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org will maintain the confidentiality of the identity of clients and information given to Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org by clients and will release such information only when authorized by said client or when legally required to do so by a court of law. You are invited, but not expected, to participate in Daily Recovery Support calls 365 days per year as a client of Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org. Because you may find it helpful, you may, but will not be required to, give personal and sensitive information about yourself to the other group members during services listed above. Some personal information about you will be disclosed simply by your participation in the groups. Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org cannot assure other group members will keep private what is said and done. You assume the risk and understand Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org cannot and will not ever be held responsible for other group members revealing private information about you. There are rules, however, which are meant to protect your privacy. These rules, which you agree to follow, are: number 1, names, nicknames, or initials will be used during group calls. Number 2, confidentiality is a must for every single participant. You will not discuss any identifying information about a group member except with that member and other group members during group meetings only. Number 3, there will be no visitors during or recordings of group meetings allowed except the recordings provided by Daily Recovery Support and CPTSDFoundation.org. Number 4, there will be no discussion of money or request for monetary support of any kind. Number 5, there will be no discussion of politics unless this is the topic of the call or the event being held. Number 6, group calls and events are never a place to receive crisis care. Number 7, discussion of religion or faith is limited to the request for prayer support only, as this can be triggering for other group members. Number 8, cross-talking, speaking over, or being disrespectful and unkind to other group members is strictly prohibited. Number 9, Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org may remove you from any call at any time if any of the guidelines are not adhered to. And 10, if you are removed for any reason listed above, no refund will be issued to you, as you are required to follow all group guidelines at all times, or you forfeit your right to a refund. By checking the box below and typing your full name in the adjacent box, you acknowledge you have read and agree to all conditions listed herein, which may be updated at any time. Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org will receive either your one-time fee or your monthly recurring fee and will use said fees at their discretion to further the mission of Daily Recovery Support, CPTSD Learning Center, and CPTSDFoundation.org, which is to provide trauma survivors and practitioners with the very best trauma-informed resources in support of developing balanced relationships and healthy daily habits. You also acknowledge you are not under any pressure or duress and are agreeing to these terms willfully without coercion of any kind. Boom. You guys, how exciting is that? I lost probably half of you. Yep, I lost a few. Not half, but a few. You guys, how exciting is that? Oh my gosh, I could just like seriously do a happy dance and throw some confetti like right now. It's becoming real, you guys. It's about to get real. So starting tomorrow and every single day of the year at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, there will be daily recovery support calls, and it's $20 a month if you sign up in the month of May. If you wait till the month of June to sign up, it's $50 a month, and it's just going to go up from there. So we already have a lot of you signed up, not a lot, but a couple handfuls of you already signed up, and we haven't even really done much to promote. So you guys, this is like a dream come true. This is like desire realized as a tree of life, right? That's a scripture. So oh my gosh, I'm just over the moon. I'm just like seriously over the moon, like with the idea that I'm actually going to be able to like reach more people with less time, you know? Like, I mean, the fact that we have the ability to help an unlimited amount of people all in one environment, and it's interactive, and you get to hear people, and you get to show up in a way that feels safe, but you're seen, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's amazing. I'm so excited. This community helped to save my life when I was feeling super suicidal and definitely not wanting to live at all. I found a group of people online that wanted to talk openly about healing from crazy childhood nonsense like abuse and, exploitation and just mistreatment of all kinds. And now, like, here I am, like 4 years later, like still showing up every week, volunteering, and now I'm just moving. It's moving along. It's moving along. It's moving along, and we're just going to help more people. We're going to help so many more people. It's amazing. I'm so grateful. So thanks for being a part of just this global movement and this dream. And I'm just humbled. I'm humbled. But don't worry, if you're not in the market for daily recovery support, nothing's going to change. I'm still going to be here every single Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I will simply be showing up here. Like I'll be basking in the glow of my daily call that I just had with a whole bunch of you. And then I'll show up here live, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, like, because the calls are going to be about 45 minutes every day, which is enough. That's enough. And then eventually, probably in the month of July or August, we're going to implement a new, like, one in the morning, my time, afternoon, late morning, early afternoon on the mainland, like, I guess maybe like 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is like, I don't know, I think it's 8 p.m. or 6 p.m. in London, and it's like 7 p.m. in Paris. Let me see. I have it right here. So eventually we're going to open up more calls. And in Los Angeles, it'll be 10 a.m. In Fayetteville, Arkansas, it'll be noon. In New York, it will be, oh, here we go. I need to move this up. Oops, my bad. I don't know. Here, I'm trying to move my New York one up. In New York, it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in London, it will be, I think it's 6 p.m. It'll be 7 p.m. in Paris, 7 p.m. in Cape Town, South Africa, 9 p.m. in Abu Dhabi, and it will be, I'm trying to transpose what that would be in Sydney, Australia. Not 100% sure. I can't figure out the math in my brain right now. But that's exciting. And I hope you all are just as excited as I am, because this is just like a dream come true, seriously. So, you guys are the best. I'm going to answer all your questions, all the questions that I read from John Harvey and Monica and Rhonda and JD and Declan and Heroes Don't Wear Capes and Ashton and Guayanas and Nexus and Sabra and Monica. And I Still Found Hope. I'm going to answer all your guys' questions next week. I apologize for the delay, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to make this a 2-part series because we need it. So you guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you back here, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern next Monday. Or I'll see you, hear you on the daily recovery support call tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Yes, starting tomorrow, the 22nd of May, 2018, and every day, 365 days a year. So 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, $20 a month if you sign up in the month of May. And if you sign up in June, it's $50 a month. But you get the month of June free if you sign up in the month of May. So it almost makes sense, because not only are you saving like $30, but you're kind of saving like twice that or more. You know what I mean? Because you're getting June free. So if you sign up for $20 a month in May, it stays $20 a month forever. And you also get June free. And then if you wait till June, it's $50 a month and you don't get anything free. It's just $50 a month always. But I wanted to do that for like all you guys who have been here for so many years. So, okay, I'm done talking. It's like I already lost a lot of you. So there's like less than 40 of you here now. So thanks so much for being here, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for liking this video if it was helpful. And thanks for subscribing somewhere right here, subscribing to the channel and clicking the little bell notification so you know anytime that I go live. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.